Yo everyone, UFC 307 Pereira vs Rountree takes place this weekend and I'm super pumped for this card, guys. There are great prelims on this card, there are great main card fights on this card, and the main event, Alex Pereira, is a fan favorite for a reason, guys. Very excited to see the outcome of a lot of these fights. Let's jump right into my predictions for this card. If you want to skip to any prediction in particular, I'm going to put timestamps in the description below and in the comment section below as well. I'm going to start off with the first fight of the card, which is a prelim fight between Mcgee and Tim Means. Starting off with a close one, man. I'm going to go with Tim Means, guys. I think his stand-up is above Mcgee's, and I think he's able to land some solid shots and look quite good when he's pressuring his opponents and coming into range like how he looked when he fought Andre Fialho. I just worry about the cardio of Tim Means and the cardio of a lot of these fighters on this card, because I believe this card is taking place at elevation, which means we might see a lot of sloppy fights when they're going the distance. I think if Tim Means can keep a decent pace for 3 rounds, I can see him winning pretty comfortably. That's my pick, guys. That's my pick for the first fight of the card. Moving on to Carla Esparza versus Tecia Pennington, or former Tecia Torres. So many close fights on this card, guys. You're going to catch me saying that quite a bit. I think I'd edge this one towards Carla Esparza if I had to pick a fighter to win here. I know Tecia Pennington would most likely have a speed and stand-up advantage going into this fight, but Carla Esparza is a high-level grappler for the division, and she can do somewhat decent on the feet herself. She was able to beat Rose Namajunas to become champion, so if I have to favor someone, I will take someone with many high-level finishes under her belt, many high-level wins under her belt. Quick pick, but it's more of a 50-50 who do you see winning sort of pick. Carla Esparza gets this one done for me, guys. Moving on to Ryan Spann versus Ovince St. Preux. Close one again. I'm going to go with Ryan Spann in this matchup, mostly just because he's the younger one of the two. Even though Ryan Spann got finished by Bogdan Guskov, I actually think Bogdan is not too bad a loss since I rate him in the division. I also think Spann could have won his last fight with Anthony Smith, but sort of just let it get away from him. It's just hard to go with an almost 42-year-old Ovince St. Preux, but I wouldn't be surprised as well to see a KO either way, since they are both hard hitters in the light heavyweight division. Anyways, quick pick, but I'm going to go with Ryan Spann. Next up, we've got Cesar Almeida versus Ihor Potieria. I'm going to go with Cesar Almeida here, guys. He's a big favorite going into this fight, guys, and I'll explain why I think that so you guys can understand a bit more. He's actually a solid striker, super solid striker. Was having a very close striking match with Roman Kopylov in his last fight. He's got a lot of power in his hands, and he's super technical. Ihor Potieria, on the other hand, can look quite sloppy at times. His defense is not the best. 2 of his last 3 losses were by KO as well. I can see a similar thing happening in this fight, probably by KO in the first or second round. That's why I've overall decided to pick Cesar Almeida to get things done here. We're moving on, guys. Austin Hubbard versus Alexander Hernandez. Another 50-50, guys. I think I would side with Alexander Hernandez just because I've seen how he has looked against some high-level competition in the past, and the guy is a decent talent on the feet and is definitely a level above Austin Hubbard in that area. I also think Austin Hubbard gets hit way too much by big shots, especially a straight right hand down the middle. I'm just concerned about the takedowns in this matchup. That's pretty much my only concern. If Austin Hubbard is able to push the pace and get this fight to the ground and focus on controlling Hernandez there, I can see him getting a win by decision here. But I would still favor Alexander Hernandez going into this one, but it's close. Moving on down the card, Marina Rodriguez versus Iasmin Lucindo. I'm going to go with another underdog on this card. I'm going to go with Marina Rodriguez. I feel like Marina Rodriguez is the more technical of the two on the feet, and I don't see her losing the grappling exchanges in this fight either. This is relatively a good matchup for her in my opinion, so I feel like the odds are a bit incorrect. She will just have to push the pace. She will just have to punish Lucindo as she's trying to close the distance with her big shots and not take too many of those big shots clean. Rodriguez has had close fights with Jessica Andrade and Carla Esparza too, with wins over Yan Xiaonan, Mackenzie Dern, and Amanda Ribas. I'm pretty happy to go with Marina Rodriguez as my pick in this fight, guys. I'm moving on. Stephen Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley. Man, how is this fight on the prelims? This should have been on the main card over Vieira versus Harrison, in my personal opinion. Even over Kevin Holland versus Roman Dolidze, I would have taken it. I think I'm going to go with Joaquin Buckley in this one. I don't like the inactivity from someone like Wonderboy since he's almost 42 years old now, and Buckley has been incredibly active in this past year and a half. I also think that Buckley is going to fight a smart fight, just like he did against Ruzaboyev, and shoot for the takedowns as soon as he gets into range. Buckley is quite explosive. He's quite fast. I think his entries will be a lot better in this fight. He's also got quite a strong body lock once he gets the grip, which means it's going to be a lot harder for Wonderboy to break the grip once he gets his hands on him. I can really see this fight being a decision win for Buckley whilst using his wrestling to be on top position for most of the fight, similar to the Bilal Muhammad win over Wonderboy. That's my pick for this fight, guys. Moving to the main card, Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland. Man, this is a close one. I was picking Kevin Holland the whole way until writing this script for the video too, but I think I'm going to go with Roman Dolidze. I want Kevin Holland to win too, but I'm just envisioning Roman looking decent enough on the feet and eventually closing the distance to get a takedown. And I can imagine once he gets that takedown, he'll sort of lay in top position and do some damage to secure at least 2 rounds this way. Holland has had some issues in the past with grapplers that employ those sort of tactics in his fight as well, and for some reason I can just see this fight going that way. And at the end of the day, it is a close one regardless of who you pick, and I wouldn't be surprised if Holland gets this one done, and I do want him to get this one done, but I am going with Roman Dolidze. Moving on, Ketlen Vieira versus Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison wins, guys. I'm sorry, I just think she's too good, and she should already be champ of the division. She should be fighting for the belt already, in my opinion. Anyways, I'm just going to mention why in particular if no one really knows who Kayla Harrison is or Ketlen Vieira. Kayla Harrison is just too strong. She's too technical on the ground and on the feet, and she just seems levels above the rest of the division as a whole. And that's nothing on Ketlen Vieira. She's quite a solid fighter, but I just think Kayla Harrison will be too much for her in this matchup. That's my pick, and I'm moving on to Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista. I'm going to go with Jose Aldo. I almost can't believe he's an underdog in this fight, but I sort of get it since Mario Bautista is a dangerous striker. But I don't know though, guys. I just think you have to be of a different level to beat Jose Aldo, even at this stage of his career. The man looked fantastic in his most recent fight against Jonathan Martinez, and it's hard to imagine Mario Bautista looking much different. This is going to be a real test for him to see if he can handle someone at Jose's level. If he proves me wrong, I'll seriously consider him a big new contender in the division. I'm picking Aldo to get this one done. Moving on to the co-main event, Raquel Pennington versus Julianna Pena. Well, guys, I'm going to go with Raquel Pennington in this matchup. And listen up, both girls are not the most technical fighters I've ever seen when it comes to the stand-up, which is pretty sad since this is a title fight, but that's just my opinion. I really do think Kayla Harrison should already be fighting for the belt since she's super technical and she's super strong for the division. Another point maybe for another video. I'm picking Raquel because I think I edge it to her over Pena in terms of her technical striking. I also think she has more tools in her arsenal than Julianna Pena, and Julianna will most likely rely on her grit and her heart to overwhelm Raquel Pennington in this fight, and I don't think it will be enough, guys. That's my overall prediction for this fight. Moving on to the main event, Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree Jr. Jeez Louise, guys, I don't think I can ever pick against Alex Pereira in this matchup. I have to go with Pereira to get this one done, and I think Pereira most likely wins via round 1 KO, maximum 2 rounds. He's realistically just too good, he's too technical, and he's too powerful for Khalil, and Khalil has been outstruck and knocked out by lesser kickboxers in the past. I think this is too much of a jump up in skill for Khalil, and it's going to be a rough time for him on the fight night most likely. I don't think it's impossible to win, but I just think it's highly unlikely in this fight. I'd honestly be pretty shocked if I saw any other result besides an early KO finish for Pereira. Anyways, guys, those are my overall predictions for the whole card. Let me know what you think about them in the comments below. If you liked the video, please like and leave a comment to show your support. I really do appreciate it. Man, I'm super pumped for this fight card. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you guys next time.